I suppose that it all began in a caravan on the edge of a windswept Scottish runway, where my father and my mother brought the three boys up on their own. And, you know, life was very tough. I wasn't always as fortunate as I have been today. And my father was sent away on HMS Eagle. He was a commanding officer on board the aircraft carrier. He decided to test fly all the aircraft before he let his own pilots fly them. So on this particular day, my father and his co-pilot, Commander Bill White, climbed into the cockpits, gave a thumbs up to each other, and closed the canopy. While they were out there, a fault developed with the engine. He realized it was pretty serious, so he banged out his co-pilot. My father's last words were, "I'm bringing it in." And he ejected, and it fired him into the tailpiece, and it killed him instantly. And they saw his limp body parachute down into the sea, and his body was washed up 2 days later. The military defined who I am today, no doubt about it, as a leader. And it was the hunger to learn more about it, to read, to meet other leaders. I learned a lot from senior officers and sergeant majors on how not to do things as much as how to do things.
What I saw in Jonathan was actually somebody who was very experienced, had a huge amount of training and leadership experience, not only from his army officer days, but also leading executive coaching for the organisation that he worked for, and highly experienced as a coach himself as well.
I want to talk about, during this talk, about 3 Ps. The first one is purpose, the second one is people, and the third is persistence. So the 3 Ps.
One of the remarkable traits that I see about Jonathan, he's always looking to stretch himself and a great learner. And I remember on a course, we took a coaching mastery course together some years ago, and he was always the one out there in the front of the class, always challenging himself and putting himself out there in front of a group of 20, 25 other people. So he will show himself. And I admire that about Jonathan.
People ask me, what do I bring to the table if I was going to be working with a CEO or a board? And I think it's a combination of 2 things, brains and scar tissue. I've been in good teams and I've been in bad teams. I've led good teams and I've been a poor leader, and therefore it's been a bad team. The brains, even for a lad who was dyslexic and told he was thick at school, I have learnt a lot over the years. And the second one is the scar tissue, the mistakes, the experience that I've learnt, which gives me the right to be in the room. And they've got to know, why should we let you in our board? Or why should we introduce you to our CEO? And as soon as I've had 5 minutes with them, they're very comfortable. Making good judgments and good decisions comes from bad experience of making bad judgments and bad decisions, as somebody once said, and I don't know who it was, but I rather like that. So you sort of learn from those experiences.
He's an extraordinary person for a number of reasons. One is where he's come from, his background, what he's had to deal with in his personal life, overcome many hurdles, and demonstrates that actually you can achieve huge things in your personal, private and business life if only you understand your focus, your priorities, and have the desire to learn and put the effort in.
He takes things to your humanity level, and he has lots of humility in the way he trains and coaches you, and he takes you to practical solutions rather than theoretical ones.
The thing with Jonathan that makes him, I guess, extraordinary would be the fact that he really does care. You feel it when you're with him. He really does want to help you to get the best out of your time together, but also to help you to achieve your goals.
I think the secret to inspiring leadership involves 2 things. One is authenticity. It's better to be a first-class version of yourself than a second-class version of somebody else, as a female actress once said. And the second one is putting yourself in the other person's shoes, really caring about the people you're with. It's not about you anymore, it's all about them.
Jonathan is authentic. I mean, he wholeheartedly is authentic because he has been there and done that through his lifetime experiences. And one of the things that I admire that is when a client is really stuck, or I've seen him, is actually there, whether it's a team or one-to-one, he'll actually go there and be there and able to help them navigate that landscape, help them to maneuver through it.
Jonathan most definitely possesses the gift of coaching and acting as a trusted advisor to leaders to drive greater performance. And it's not just me saying it, it's actually from me bringing him in as a resource into organisations and hearing it back from my clients over and over again. They walk out of the room with having felt very inspired by Jonathan as a coach.